Hey everyone, Bronwyn Gresham here. I have a video for you on letting go of guilt, that guilt that can spoil us when we're trying to engage in self-care. Stay tuned. So do you ever feel guilty when you're doing self-care, like you should be doing something more productive or that you're being selfish, self-indulgent? I can really relate to this. Whenever I decide to go to yoga class, even though my partner wholeheartedly encourages me to go, there is this tiny little part of me that's like, oh, I feel bad for going. Like, he probably needs time out too. Am I being vulnerable or silly for needing this? So kind of guilt is real spoiler for self-care. So we need to talk about this. And let's try to take a step back and understand what is guilt and when is it justified? And what do we do if it's justified? And when is it not justified? When is it completely not warranted? And what do we do in that situation? So guilt is an emotion that tells us when something is wrong, when we're doing something wrong or we're thinking of doing something wrong that violates or transgresses our morals and our ethics. A healthy response to guilt involves acknowledging that we've made a transgression and then approaching to forgive the person that we've hurt, including ourselves, and then learning from the experience in order to make a commitment to not make that mistake again. That's easily remembered by the acronym AFL. Good for those footy fans, easy to remember. But what if guilt doesn't match the situation? Like in my yoga example, it's not like I violated any ethical or moral code. So what should I do in that situation? When guilt is not justified, it's important to do the opposite of what it's telling us to do. If I follow my guilt, I won't go to yoga. So I need to do the opposite of that and to do it wholeheartedly. So making no apologies to myself or to other people for taking needed time out. So this might look like going to yoga again and again. And when I'm there, when that guilty thought kind of comes up and pops up and wants to ruin and spoil the moment, to just tend to it, to acknowledge you're there and to have no apologies. And again, shifting my attention back to just being in the yoga, giving myself the gift of being in that moment. So the key here is to first, when you're feeling guilt, firstly check the facts. Does the guilt match the situation? Should you feel guilty? And it can be often helpful to consider, would a friend think I've done something wrong? If you have done something wrong, apply your AFL, get to it, and then let it go. If you haven't done something wrong, if it's not warranted or justified, engage in wholehearted opposite action. And no apologies for giving yourself the care that you need. Next video, we're going to be talking about meeting your needs and the difference between our wants and our needs. Looking forward to seeing you there.